It was a long wait and a major step-by-step walkthrough of just about everything needed and to ensure details were correct. I have nothing else to say for this portion of the video, so let's go. So to begin, around the closing months of the fourth quarter of last year, to understand and respect the fact the artist ManZQR decided to take a vacation from taking commissions, I had to seek out another artist who had the capability to pull off vehicle artwork to an extent of capturing in-depth details. When I stumbled upon the artist Nuget, I was still juggling through what ideas to propose, thus I held off on the idea of commissions until further notice. But fast forward to this year and during the month of January, some ideas came to mind. However, respectfully speaking, I wasn't aware of what artworks Nuget could pull off due to the many of his works showing a consistent format while demonstrating excellent works in background and vehicle detail. I did not stumble across any artworks with different types of vehicle tint, as all I was able to find were what I describe as placeholder tint, meaning fully blackout tint was used as an easy way to represent vehicle windows as a form to show set parts of vehicles and possibly to demonstrate vehicle tint as well. But fast forward to the day communications began for the drawing, the 3rd of February, which progressed all the way to the 7th of February, the day the drawing finished. This began as the day all details had to be disclosed, with the overall idea of showing Essex's Camaro and Intrepid's Corvette. So with everything that was told to him, it wasn't difficult to plan the whole thing because when it came to scene building, I had the general idea of something easy, which is two vehicles merging into the Interstate 95 highway, southbound on its portion in Jacksonville, Florida. However, even though many can see this now completed artwork as more or less as something that's already been done, but due to the context of the scene, the one thing many don't know are the specifics. The original idea was to show the moment the view captured both vehicles' turn signals blinking visible in view, but this is where the original idea had to change because when I was looking around for media on how the Corvette's turn signals looked, that was easy enough, but the ultimate factor was seeking out media for the Camaro's turn signals, which led to dead ends. So I decided to tell him to not draw the moment the turn signals are seen, only drawing the moment the turn signals are not shown. But what about the two vehicles overall? If you had to guess which car was the most difficult for the artist to draw, it's definitely Essex's Camaro, due to what the vehicle has in terms of its exterior components, such as the carbon fiber hood and the direction the set materials patterns are facing, in which follows a direction downwards to the left side of the vehicle. Then there's the company logo, which of course to him wasn't difficult because the criteria of the said logo was to just copy and paste the PNG file into the scene. But other than that, this is another difficult aspect I wanted to mention. It was the idea of drawing window tint. I believe it's difficult because of how window tint looks when seen in person versus how it's seen in a photograph, with other factors such as how much light is shining onto the vehicle and the distance you are viewing the tint in person or looking through a camera. When looking at tint, for example, 30%, it's one of those tint levels that can be considered for maintaining privacy to a certain degree. However, you can still see into the vehicle. It's just specific details such as a person's eye color becoming difficult to make out. For the case of the Camaro SS, the vehicle's tints are as follows: 35% for the doors, 15% for the back windows, and nothing on the windshield except for a black sunstrip. This sunstrip, the one thing to keep in mind, similar to the precursor of this drawing, the sunstrip's tint is at a level which is very dark, but you can still see through it. But to give my best estimate on what it could be, I would say it's 15%. Now, moving on to Intrepid's Corvette. To begin, it's the 2020 2024 Stingray. If you guessed that it's easier to draw this one, you are 100% correct. Due to the way the vehicles are positioned in the drawing, it would be quite similar again to the one drawn by Manzi QR. The Corvette in this scene has no tint at all, not even a sunstrip. There was no challenge at all for him to draw this one because Chevrolet's website currently shows its vehicle configurator with the current generation. It was too easy to gather reference images on how the vehicle looked anyways. But this is where I wanted to bring up something difficult when it came to drawing vehicles. Again, I don't draw, but I understand the struggle to locate accurate references for vehicles. The Camaro featured in both drawings I mentioned throughout this video. It's the 2015 version, thus it's not the correct one you can view in Chevrolet's car configurator. However, I was lucky on locating media on said vehicle and its exterior, even when it came to things such as locating how the headlights looked when activated. But is there anything else about the drawing? It's difficult to see both characters because of how the view is drawn, in the form of a worm's eye view. Only certain portions of them are seen, and looking back, it was a great idea for Essex's car to have only 35% on the doors. I also would like to answer a question nobody asked until now. When you came up with the idea of Essex's Camaro to Manzi QR, is it company property or her personal vehicle? It's her personal vehicle. For the process on how everything turned out, as of the morning on the 8th of February, I did contact Nougat once again because I saw one detail he missed, the Chevrolet logo on the rims, so he got that fixed and uploaded. The one with the wheels moving and the logos serves as the thumbnail for this video. I would also like to start one final topic. I do agree, it's difficult to locate media of a car, especially if it's not the current generation, because as I implied earlier, anything specific you want to locate can be difficult, if not considered lost media by this point. But that can depend on which car you plan on locating references for. But there's another thing about locating how a car looks and how you want to portray it in the form of fan art, for example. If the idea is to nail accuracy and you are looking for references on a car from a previous generation, especially if the idea is to show a vehicle of a specific trim, edition, or even country exclusive. Because when looking up a car, you will notice differences, and once you piece in the consistent amount of information you find, you should at that point understand what was exclusive in one country in comparison to another for a vehicle. For example, when it came to the final generation of the Subaru Legacy and its GT trim or sport trim in the United States, I did notice some differences. But again, I am only talking about consistent pieces of information I found online. In the United States, there's something I noticed about the sport trim. It appears to offer these side badges displaying the said trim level. I also noticed a black low-profile spoiler in comparison to what Canada offers, which doesn't have side badges nor containing a low-profile spoiler. However, for the case of Canada's offers, and this one isn't really nation exclusive, I guess, and could just be a photo of a used vehicle, but I did notice some sites offered the car with a shark fin antenna painted black as well. So what do I think of this drawing? While this sounds biased, I would say it's unique from other works he has done, because as I said before, to compare, this one has its own way of being unique because of the different window tint levels featured. The background may not be as cool, in depth, or crazy when it comes to scene building and its details, but ultimately I see it as the best of his works. So thank you, Nougat, for making this artwork. I know it was difficult when it came to communication because of time zone differences, but I'm glad you pulled it off. So get some sleep. My name is Dragon Actual, and thanks for watching. See you next time.